All touring musicians know this question well, but depending on who's asking, it can be tricky to answer. Going on tour has long been a heavily mythologized way of life, with ample touch points across pop culture. And yet, those who haven't gone on tour sometimes lack the context to fully appreciate what it actually means. We've gone off to play a single depressing college show in Pennsylvania, only to return home that same night and have someone ask, "How was tour?" One show in Pennsylvania? That's not a tour. But tour's also not almost famous, at least not for everyone. In our little corner of the industry, indie rock, tour is many things. Too many things, in fact, to sum up succinctly. And it's different for us all. Of course, tour represents the beautiful exchange between band and audience, the singular, ecstatic marvel of live music. But that lasts about an hour, sometimes 2, rarely 3. The rest of tour, the majority, is governed by 2 things: travel and food. As indie musicians, we're both defined by and reliant on our relationship to movement. The amount of time we spend in the studio is absolutely dwarfed by the amount of time we spend on the road. And once we get on the road, the amount of time we spend on stage is dwarfed by the amount of time we spend in transit and at the table. With the advent of streaming services, most musicians don't make a living off their recorded music anymore. The bulk of our income comes from relentless cycles of touring that keep us in perpetual motion. During an average cycle, it's common to be on tour for about 150 nights out of the year. And just as travel television hosts have local fixers, schlepping them around from restaurant to restaurant, we too have a vast international network of colleagues, friends, and peers who show us where to eat or cook for us in their homes. And we don't want to sound flippant or ungrateful, but sometimes musicians remembered their meals more vividly than their shows. In May 2017, our bands Real Estate and Frankie Cosmos went on tour together around the Northeast and Midwest. We played some great shows, of course, but we also smuggled thick slices of rhubarb pie backstage from Tandem Coffee and Bakery in Portland, Maine. We detoured from Detroit to Dearborn for late-night Lebanese. We ordered deep dish to the Green Room in Chicago. In short, we discovered we were each the resident food obsessive in our respective bands and forged a friendship centered around an appreciation of food, travel, and music, all of which have long been important to us both. We'd taken separate but parallel paths to get where we were. After years spent on shoestring DIY tours, we both graduated to the comfortable yet modest confines of mid-level indie rock. Between tours, Luke spent time sharpening his food and recipe writing, while Alex took various front-of-house positions at one of his favorite Brooklyn restaurants.